You also said that you had a strictly platonic relationship. This is a different guy, where you had a guy who was your slave. He liked to be kicked in the groin. He was the dog, and I would walk him on a leash. He had a dog collar that stated "property of Kitty."
I wish I brought it with me.
If lost, return. Oh, you still have it?
Yeah, he gave it back to me when I moved out here. He was my slave.
Okay. Was this also like a findom thing? Were you findoming him?
It wasn't
like
actually.
he'd pay you money and shit, or?
He would buy me things and stuff like that. So slaves like do stuff that you want them to do. So it's like, hey, I need my apartment clean. Come clean my apartment. Yeah. Hey, I need my car washed. Go drive and like wash my car. But his whole fetish was slave and then CBT.
Okay.
Do you know what CBT is?
I feel like I've heard this before. CBT.
I don't. No. What is it?
Cock and ball torture.
Yikes.
I'll never
That's a yikes. I don't know about that one.
And another thing
he's
as much as like people are like, oh, BDSM work is weird and all this stuff. To me, this is just my personal opinion. I could never sell myself sexually. That's just me. I've went through too many traumatic things where I wouldn't be able to do that because I don't think I'd ever be able to date anyone, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to BDSM work, one, you're pretty much finding out what they're into, really finding out what they want. But a lot of people that practice BDSM usually are a lot more stable mentally, believe it or not. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's been studies on it.
Wait, what?
So look it up. My phone's died, but people because I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's sick, that's weird. you look
understand
scared.
their wants and needs.
So
I've been
people,
asked to be a dom by so many guys.
People who practice.
I mean, you think a well-adjusted man wants his balls and cock tortured?
No. Absolutely. Some people, not everyone.
Not everyone, but there is a good amount.
Well,
what's
if you have
kinks, as long
breaker?
as you're healthily doing your kinks, there's nothing really wrong with that.
Because I've done BDSM.
Yeah, but that's my question though. Is like, what's the threshold breaker? It's super weird to me to think that if you're a woman and somebody asks you to do this to them on purpose, you don't think that that's like a sign that maybe they're a sicko or
they're not.
Freak?
There's been studies on it that people that practice BDSM are usually in better health because you have to think about it. A lot of people that hate those things usually are the ones that end up going like psycho or crazy, or they're into it but they're like in the closet about it. I don't
even really understand this. So you're saying they're better mentally adjusted because they engage in those activities?
Yes.
Than the ones who have those urges and don't engage in them is what she's saying. She's not saying that these men are better than men who have no kinks at all and don't do anything at all. That's not what she's saying. She's saying that men who have these kinks and at least act in them in healthy ways are better off than the men who have these kinks and just
fair enough. So as we
saying.
Yeah, okay, I got it. So
and I will make one other statement. I will make one other thing.
Over here.
As far as BDSM goes, it is strictly work related. As far as my relationships, they're not. And honestly, I don't think I could date someone that would want I don't want to dom a man, to be honest.
But you would agree with me that most men don't want that kind of treatment, right? You would agree that these are outliers, right?
I did meet this one guy out here that you would think doesn't have that fetish that looks completely normal. He wanted me to spit in his mouth, slap him in the face, and he gets onto that. And he's fine as hell. But I could never.
I'm just saying,
my friend
you would
used to
agree
stick
that they're not the norm.
Ass. That was completely
Wait, say that again?
One of my exes
you would agree they're not the norm, right?
I don't know.
Like that's not a normal thing that men would want.
Normal's
definitely not.
It really depends because no one's normal in the world we live in right now.
Yeah.
No, there's still some.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of a dodge. I'm just saying, do you think generally speaking that men likely don't want to have women like dominate, beat them up and shit? Like they probably don't want that.
Wait, let me add
Most
something.
That's
like a genre of men. There's multiple genres of men. You know, you can. There's
that goes
we're
with
all
my
on a
question.
spectrum.
And
I'm asking about the outliers versus the
I just
inliers.
told you.
I
just answered your question.
Do you think most men are into this or most men aren't into this?
I would need to see a study online to see numbers, to be honest.
There is a study.
I know the mental part, like that. I know there's a study,
but most men are into this, really?
Dude, you'd be surprised.
I don't think most men are into it, but I think more men are into it than you are aware
There's
of.
guys
but I don't
like
think
you
the
on this
average,
BDSM
no.
app that look completely normal, and you wouldn't think they're into that. Just like there's Hasidic Jews that are even into that, and you wouldn't expect that.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that would surprise me or not, but asking this specifically, let's assume that you have like the 100% of the population, the whole cake. If you had to give a percentage of how many men you thought were into this, what percentage would you give it, just as kind of a guess?
Maybe 45%.
I would say 20.
That's
yeah. There's no way
like
it's
half.
half.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised, to be honest. Yeah. Maybe it's because we're from New York.
I mean,
and went to LA, and that percentage is bigger.
I mean, we have two.
Like in
boys
New York,
on
it's
this
bigger.
group.
There's an actual legitimate dungeon that you could work at, that anyone can go. It's way different than LA. New York, it's very open about it.
I don't deny that there's like, you know, like a good number of men out there that like it, but I wouldn't say it would be that high. Like, to be honest, I think there's
I mean, I deny it. I don't think that it could be anywhere even close to 4. I doubt it would be even 3%.
I don't even think
wouldn't say
it would hit the
3%.
double digits.
And BDSM work isn't only just beating up men. There's more than that. There's way more fetishes. There's a lot more.
True that.
There's dudes that are into ODK, which is over the knee, and dudes want to be spanked in the butt and told they're being punished. Then there's also dudes that are into, what's the name of it? Sounding. Oh. Sounding is like a book that you open up with different size, like chopsticks.
Yeah.
And you stick it in the guy's urethra.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Wait, do that again. Do that again. She's like, he's like, I don't want. No. Earmuffs.
Yeah, but I mean,
earmuffs.
you must agree that the majority of men don't want anything to do with shit like that.
What difference does that make?
A lot of guys now today like choking women in bed. They might not want to be dominated, but they might want to dom a
Yeah,
girl.
but that's the
wait,
opposite.
I want to go around
Like,
the
wouldn't that
table.
be the opposite if a dude's like doing
that's
the
still
choking thing in bed, that
BDSM.
would be the opposite, right?